Welcome to Star Bios, the show where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic stars. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on a musical legend who defied genres and left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry, Louis Armstrong. Known for his soulful voice, charismatic stage presence, and trailblazing trumpet playing, Armstrong's impact on jazz, blues, and popular music is still felt to this day. But before he became Satchmo, the beloved entertainer with a heart of gold, he was just a young boy growing up in the vibrant city of New Orleans. Born on August 4, 1901, in a small shotgun house in the back-of-town neighborhood of New Orleans, Louis Armstrong was the grandson of slaves and the son of William Armstrong and Mary Ann Johnson. His early life was marked by poverty and hardship, with his father abandoning the family when Louis was just an infant. Despite these challenges, his mother's determination and resilience would shape Louis's future, instilling in him a strong work ethic and a passion for music. As a young boy, Louis grew up surrounded by the sounds of New Orleans, the jazz bands that played on the streets, the gospel choirs that sang in the churches, and the blues musicians who performed in the bars and clubs. He was particularly drawn to the cornet playing of Bunk Johnson, a local musician who would later become his mentor. Louis's fascination with music was evident from an early age, and he began singing in his church choir and playing the cornet on the streets of New Orleans. The city's unique cultural melting pot had a profound impact on Armstrong's development as a musician. He was influenced by the diverse range of musical styles he heard in New Orleans, from traditional jazz to blues and gospel. The city's African, European, and Caribbean traditions blended together to create a distinctive sound that would later become a hallmark of Armstrong's music. As he honed his craft, Louis began to perform on the streets of New Orleans, earning money by playing for tips in front of cafes and bars. In 1913, when Louis was just 12 years old, he was arrested for firing a gun in the air on New Year's Eve. Sentenced to reform school, Louis was introduced to Peter Davis, the school's music instructor, who became his mentor and taught him how to play the cornet properly. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of Armstrong's musical journey, as he began to develop the skills that would eventually make him a legend. Under Davis's guidance, Armstrong formed the band with his fellow students, and they would perform at social events and gatherings around New Orleans. The Reform School's music program had a profound impact on Louis's life, providing him with a sense of purpose and direction. He thrived under the instruction of Peter Davis, who not only taught him how to play the cornet but also instilled in him a love of music that would last a lifetime. As Louis navigated his teenage years, he began to develop a strong sense of self-discipline and determination, qualities that would serve him well as he pursued his passion for music. The city's vibrant music scene, his family's love and support, and his own determination all contributed to the development of a talented young musician who was ready to take on the world. We saw how his experiences in Reform School, under the guidance of Peter Davis, laid the foundation for his future success as a musician. As we pick up Louis's story, he has just left New Orleans behind, eager to make a name for himself in the jazz world. In 1922, at the age of 21, Armstrong joined the Creole Jazz Band, led by Joe King Oliver, and moved to Chicago. This marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would take him from the clubs of Chicago to the concert halls of Europe. In Chicago, Louis quickly established himself as a talented young cornet player, known for his unique playing style and charismatic stage presence. He became friends with other notable jazz musicians, including Earl Hines and Fletcher Henderson, and began to develop his skills as a soloist and improviser. The city's thriving jazz scene provided Armstrong with the perfect environment to hone his craft, and he soon found himself in high demand. In 1924, Louis left the Creole Jazz Band to join Fletcher Henderson's orchestra, one of the most influential jazz bands of the time. This move marked a significant turning point in Armstrong's career, as he began to gain recognition as a soloist and vocalist. His distinctive singing style, which blended elements of blues, jazz, and pop music, quickly gained popularity, and he became known for his charismatic stage presence and ability to connect with audiences. One of the most notable aspects of Armstrong's time with Henderson's orchestra was his introduction to the world of recording. In 1925, he made his first recordings with the band, which included classics like Heebie Jeebies and Cornet Chop Suey. These early recordings showcased Armstrong's unique playing style and vocal talents, and helped establish him as a rising star in the jazz world. As the 1920s drew to a close, Louis Armstrong had become one of the most sought-after musicians in Chicago. He had developed a distinctive sound that blended elements of jazz, blues, and popular music, and had established himself as a talented soloist, vocalist, and bandleader. His charismatic stage presence and ability to connect with audiences had made him a favorite among jazz fans, and he was poised for even greater success in the years to come. Armstrong's experiences during this period were also shaped by his relationships with other musicians and his environment. He was part of a vibrant community of jazz musicians who inspired and influenced each other, and he was exposed to a wide range of musical styles that helped shape his unique sound. The city's cultural and social landscape, including the segregation and racism that Armstrong faced as a black musician, also had a profound impact on his life and career. His talent, determination, and charisma had brought him to the forefront of the jazz world, and he was now ready to take on new challenges and pursue even greater heights of success. As the 1930s dawned, Louis Armstrong had become a global superstar, known for his unique trumpet-playing style, charismatic stage presence, and distinctive vocals. He had toured extensively throughout Europe and the United States, performing to sold-out crowds and earning critical acclaim. In 1932, he began a long-term contract with RCA Victor Records, which would produce some of his most iconic recordings, including When the Saints Go Marching In and Blueberry Hill. One of the most significant aspects of Armstrong's later career was his transition from jazz musician to entertainer. He began to incorporate more pop and show tunes into his repertoire, which helped him appeal to a broader audience. This shift was reflected in his film appearances, including Pennies from Heaven, 1936, and Cabin in the Sky, 1943, where he showcased his acting talents alongside his music. Armstrong's personal life also underwent significant changes during this period. In 1938, he married Alpha Smith, his fourth wife, with whom he would remain until his death. The couple settled in Corona, Queens, New York, where Armstrong would live for the remainder of his life. Despite his busy touring schedule, he remained devoted to his family and community, often hosting jam sessions and parties at his home. The 1940s and 1950s saw Armstrong's popularity soar to new heights. He formed the All-Stars, a sextet that featured some of the most talented jazz musicians of the time, including Earl Hines, Jack Teagarden, and Cozy Cole. The band toured extensively, performing at festivals, concert halls, and nightclubs around the world. Armstrong's music also became more introspective and melancholic during this period, reflecting his growing awareness of social justice issues and his experiences as a black musician in a segregated society. In 1956, Armstrong embarked on a historic tour of Africa, sponsored by the U.S. State Department. The trip was a groundbreaking moment in cultural diplomacy, as Armstrong performed for thousands of people across the continent, spreading jazz and American culture to new audiences. This experience had a profound impact on Armstrong, who returned to the United States with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment to civil rights. As the 1960s approached, Armstrong's health began to decline. He suffered from heart problems, lip damage, and chronic pain, which forced him to reduce his touring schedule. Despite these challenges, he continued to perform and record music, releasing iconic albums like What a Wonderful World, 1967, and Hello, Dolly, 1964. His music remained timeless and universal, inspiring new generations of musicians and fans around the world. Louis Armstrong passed away on July 6, 1971, at the age of 69. Leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and influence music lovers today. Thank you for joining me on this podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed exploring the remarkable story of Louis Armstrong. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, And until next time, I'm Casey Gold, reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.